What's up, y'all? So I think I'm just gonna freestyle some videos sometimes when I'm sitting here. But um, one of those big things that I was thinking about lately, though, is people will sit and they make plans. Like you decide that you're gonna do X, Y, Z, but in your mind, when you make the decision, you forget the other decisions you're making at that time. Like people usually just make a decision and then they disregard what actually has to take place for the outcome that they are intending to take place. And so what I mean by that is, like, when you're actually making a decision, when you devoutly make a decision, you have to understand that at that moment, in order for that goal or that decision to reach its fruition, then you need to, with absolute certainty, attack the mission. Like, everything in that process you have agreed to. What it takes is what it takes. And somewhere people forget this. I don't care whether you start a relationship, you're ending a relationship, whether you're starting a business, whether you're buying a business, whether you're, like, there are incidentals. You buy a car, when you buy a used car, when you buy a new car, when you buy a new car that is like the first generation of its model, there are going to be incidentals. There's things that come with that decision that you are now taking on the responsibilities for. Most of the time, people make decisions and they choose to overlook the fact that, hey, these things can happen. And it's not about focusing on the negative or the positive. It's understanding that things happen. And then being able to execute in the face of those things as if it's okay. You've accepted it. You've accepted the outcome, good, bad, or otherwise. You've accepted. Now you go forward. But at the end of the day, you follow through with what you decided to do. A lot of times, like, people have come to these realizations or these things too late, or they come to them and they lose sight of where they're going. And so I often try to help people see these things or answer to these things when I'm giving advice or when I'm trying to help map out the plan for what they are doing. It's not planning for the worst. It's not planning for the best. It's about planning for the outcome. Because the truth is, it doesn't matter what happens. What does matter is getting to the goal. And if you're focused on getting to the goal, if you're focused on getting to that end result with ultimate certainty, then ultimate certainty has to be in that moment of decision making, to where you realize, I am not going to do anything other than the accumulation of efforts that will get me to that end result. Now, if we were to switch this over and go on to the quantum theory side of things, and we look at it to where we are wondering about how do you acquire what it is that you seek with the least amount of effort. That is acting, or as Neville Goddard said, the law of assumption, acting as if it's already here. You have to understand that in order to be the person that has the thing that you want, you have to be that person right now. You have to live in that moment right now. Because right now, if you want it to exist right now, then you have to believe it exists right now, not later. And in that same understanding is that when you're making those decisions, when you're making defiant decisions, when you're pointing and saying, I'm going to do that, I am happy, I am successful, I am going to accomplish, I am accomplishing, I have accomplished, I am in that moment. You see, not I have, but I am, I have done it, it's done. you have to program yourself into believing that you're already that champion. You are already that successful business person. You're already that successful programmer. You're already that person that has created this thing that has changed and revolutionized the world, because you know that's who you are. You're that person that revolutionized the world. Whether it's in tech, whether it's in sports, whether it's being a mom, whether you are revolutionizing the world with that thing that you're seeking to do, because that is you, that is your thing, that is how you accomplish it. But you have to be from that mindset that you understand that the things that you're doing right now are going to be the things that will change your life, change the world, and you are going to act in the accordance to success, act in accordance to winning. You're going to do what it takes to get what it takes done. And like, it's hard to get people to get to that point because they're going to want to push back. And often, so as a coach, that's the one thing that I actually struggle with more than anything, is that when I am working with so many people's energy and so many people are trying to do these things, but they're also trying to overcome their imposter syndromes, their negative beliefs, and those things. I have to be able to take myself, and then while I am navigating their energy, I have to actually not sit and take on their energy, but reflect back to them what they're showing me, but then give them the reflection of myself and the mindset of, hey, guess what? You've already succeeded. You've already succeeded because you have me as your coach, and I already see you as successful. Now I need you to see you as successful in the reflection that you see in me. And that's the most important part of coaching, and why often, like I say, coaching is a spiritual journey. It's not something that just happens. It's not something that you just do. But it's a matter of understanding that coaching is a process in which I am trying to associate your success in the future with who you are right now. And I am trying to get you to remove that person that you are right now who's holding you back. Because the truth is, the only thing holding you back is you. Now, that version of you sees me as the enemy. That version of you sees me as the problem. That version of you sees me as an obstacle that it has to get rid of in order for it to return to its comfort, for it to be safe, for it to be secure, for it to not have to overcome change and become the successful version of you, because the successful version of you kills off that version of you that is weak and unable to achieve the goals that you're seeking to achieve. And that's the reality. That's the reality of coaching. The reality of coaching is realizing that I am fighting a part of your psyche that can at any point win this battle. But I have to sit there and be secure and strong enough in my own self that I am willing to have that fight with you, with that version of you, until I can overcome it. Because I have to sit there, I have to overcome it, because I have to be able to sit there and face it over and over again and keep showing up in that same light, same energy, and be that person until you can see the light shining at you and telling you that it's okay to fight for the person that you want to be, for the thing that you're seeking to become. And oftentimes I'm sitting there, and there were times while coaching that, especially when I was younger, where that was harder and got harder and harder, because I didn't quite understand that energy dynamic. I didn't quite understand the thing that I was fighting. I didn't understand the battle. And then as I got older, I started to see the difference. I started to understand the nuance in the conversation. The dynamic of that person and how they wanted to achieve what they're seeking to achieve. So if this resonates with you, if you sit there and you see yourself making a decision and you're wondering why you don't achieve your goals, you're wondering why that version of you keeps winning, that imposter of you, that person who's not the most successful version of you, that final boss. If you're ready to overcome that, drop a comment below or send me a message on any of the social medias. They're all the same. J.D. Reynolds 3. Let's talk about it, and let's see about getting you to be the person that you want to be. Because I believe in you. I know you can do it. And I understand how hard that battle is to overcome up here. And to be able to see that reflection that you need to see that sees you as the successful version of you, the most successful version of you. Because even if you're successful right now, there's still another level. You're still breathing. There's still a day to get better. Let's go. Final Boss out.